Hello there. Welcome to our weekly news segment. I have no idea what we're actually going to call this thing, but we're going to see how it goes. It's actually a fun thing for us to do. We get to talk about all the things that are going on in the ski and outdoor world. So we'll be doing that every single week right here at the desk, just like we do everything else, I guess. Couple really important things. We're really only going to talk about two topics in this particular week, both very valid. We'll start with the less important of the two. Vail had their earnings call yesterday. A whole bunch of stuff went down. Some of the highlights include things like your pass being available on your phone. Your Epic Pass will be stored on your phone, so no more individual RFID cards. Basically, it'll just get put on your phone, and that'll be active for 23-24. So not this upcoming season, the next season. Vail also announced that they're down 10% for Epic local passes. Not super surprising. I think the people that live in a certain area were the most annoyed and affected by high traffic. So I think that makes sense. 10% is a little more than I probably expected it to be, but if there was going to be a decrease in sales, it was going to be there. Obviously, people do not hate Vail as much as they claim to hate Vail, or as many people, like everybody who hates Vail is just way louder than the people who don't care about Vail. The product is good and it's cheap, so people buy it, and they're up 7% overall in yield and 6% in pass sales, I believe. And there's a lot of positives, I think, to take from what they've done, but it's weird. It's weird, and I think the earnings call is a good indication, or a good kind of view into what Vail is as a business. There were people on the call asking things like, who are these people that are leaving, right? Like, I think it's funny when you have other people that are invested just from the money side of things in skiing, because they never really understand why people do the things that they do. And I'll be honest, like, even in the industry, I don't understand why people do the things they do within our space. So, but it just becomes abundantly clear that they have no idea what's going on when you listen in on some of these calls. I will say some of the things that they addressed that I was happy to hear. They are addressing concerns about customer service. They're adding and bolstering a customer service team, which will be really nice. I think that's it's definitely not going to be enough for what they need, but it'll be more than it was, and I think that that's a big win. What else happened with the Vail? Oh, they talked about their margin being 31%, and somebody talking about, like, can we make that higher? And I thought that was funny. Digi actually commented on a lot of this stuff and was very helpful when I was doing some looking into what the earnings call actually was about. Twitter is a great spot to learn information, sometimes real, sometimes fake, but with people like Digi, it's good to actually have some resources, and obviously the earnings call itself. But 31% margin is super solid. It's more than I expected it to be. It's more than, it's just good. 31% for a ski operation business is fucking crazy. For any business in skiing, I feel like that's insane. So yeah, that was not, and actually they're looking to improve on that somehow, or at least the investors are. I was very surprised that it was that high, but I was even more surprised that people are like, give me more. But I guess that's to be expected, right? Like, everybody always wants a little better than what they've got going at current. So Epic is obviously here to stay, and not going anywhere for the long run. Last thing on that too, they have mentioned their big crisis right now is housing. I feel like we knew that employee housing is a huge problem for them right now. While they are looking to keep buying more and more and more in terms of properties and ski areas and expansion, one of the biggest issues that they have to address is putting up employees in employee housing. It's hard. I mean, they're getting shut down in Vail right now for building some new housing for honestly not a great reason. And I think, to their credit, they are trying to fix this problem. I just don't know that they're going to be able to, for the amount of housing that they need in the areas that they need it, and for what's available. It's going to be a difficult problem to solve for them, and we'll see what it looks like in the next few years, I guess. But it's definitely going to continue to be an issue this year. I mean, I can tell you from having a shop in in the area of an epic resort, it's super hard for me to get like my people a place, like even to find them a place to work out of. It's just, and live out of. It's too hard. Everything's super expensive, or people want ridiculous things, like they want you to pay, 6 months or 8 months ahead of time. They want you to pay all in one lump sum, and it's like you're taking advantage of people that are in this space, which is really shitty. But it's also because of the short-term housing market, like the Airbnbs of the world. It's really hard because you're telling these people don't make money on your property and don't use it for Airbnb, sell it to some kids that are going to live there all year, right? It's a tough sell for somebody that invested in a property just to make a little money on it. So I get it. I do think that stuff should be limited in mountain towns because the housing is so limited and stuff is just not available the way it is in other areas. So I think like your local governments kind of need to step in there, and people there needs to be a conversation about how to make it work, right? Because those mountains bring in so much traffic to those areas that they don't see otherwise. If there's no place for people to live while they're working, then they're not going to work there. They're going to go work somewhere else where they can live and where it's affordable. So if that stuff's not available because everybody's wanting to rent an Airbnb for $300 a night with a $427 cleaning fee, I think that we're going to be in a lot of trouble. So that's that. Next piece of news is where we're going to end today, and obviously the more important of the two stories. Hilaree Nelson passed away, unfortunately, on Mount Manaslu in Nepal. Her and Jim Morrison, her partner, had summited, and they started to ski down. Jim went first, then Hilaree went and got swept by some moving snow and pushed off the south face of Manaslu. Am I saying that right still? I think so. It's super unfortunate. Hilaree's a legend. She's done so much in this sport and for the outdoor community, for women's advocacy in sports. It's a huge bummer. It's a huge loss for the community, and it's a reminder that it can happen at any time to anybody in the mountains. Like it's not a joke. This shit's real. So call a friend, tell a friend that you care about them. That kind of stuff is really important, especially when we're all doing the activities that we're doing. Obviously, at this level, it's a totally different thing. And she was like the elite of the elite. It's a crazy thing when someone goes like that. And I think a lot of people had kind of known what the outcome was going to be when the reports started coming out that she fell in a crevasse, and people were searching for her for the last couple of days. I know everybody was like very, very hopeful, like if anybody could pull it out, it'd be Hilaree, but some things they just are what they are. So yeah, obviously be safe in the backcountry, do your best. It's a really tough situation. I feel so bad for Jim and obviously for Hilaree's kids and for the whole community. It's very seldom do you see the whole community react the way that everyone did when the news came out. Even when the news came out that she was missing, it's insane, but it shows what an impact Hilaree had on everyone that she had involvement with. And that kind of stuff speaks forever. I mean, it is, yeah. So rest in peace to Hilaree Nelson. I'll read a quick bit from North Face with the actual report. On September 26th, Hilaree reached the true summit of Mount Manaslu with her climbing partner and life partner, Jim Morrison. During her ski descent, Hilaree was swept off her feet by moving snow, resulting in a fall down the south face. For us, Hilaree transcended the idea of an athlete, a sport, or a community. She helped lead our family at the North Face by being a teammate and team captain who changed our perspective of the outdoors by showing us exactly what it can mean. Her light will forever be an offering, and her optimism in the face of adversity will forever be our guide. Our hearts are with Hilaree's children, her family, and her steadfast partner, Jim Morrison. So with that, talk to you guys next week. Rest in peace to Hilaree Nelson. and we'll talk soon. Bye.